Thank you for joining us for another episode in our MSP series for small and growing firms. I'm joined by Marvin Smith and Paul Robinson. Links to their businesses will be in the video links below. This section is going to be acquiring customers and building trust. How did you land the first few customers?
So I got lucky from the standpoint of I built a very large network over my corporate career. I didn't grow up in business. My dad actually ran a homeless and drug addicted mission in Brooklyn. So we're kind of brothers from, I moved out, I'm paying a little less in rent, but that's all right. But that's all right. But the one thing that I learned there from my dad and how he treated people was don't give to get. You give out of authenticity. And so my whole corporate career was always built on that. Like, you'll always make it, you may not be, the richest person in the world, but your needs will be met if you're just meeting people where you need to meet them at and just give to give. And so that reputation led to me in my business. So there were a couple of people like automatically, boom, like, we're going to do business with you because, we've worked with you for so long. We know what you're going to do. You're going to take care of us. As far as new clients that I didn't get, we were talking about it earlier. Growing up in New York City, you hustle. Yeah. Like, you gotta hustle. Yeah. And it's actually a competitive advantage, I think, if you grow up in an urban, tough environment, because you're like, no one's gonna feed me, I gotta go out and kill. So it was getting on LinkedIn groups and doing, networking events that I know my peers in corporate wouldn't do because, this big company, JP Morgan Chase is in there, so I'm not going. I'm like, I don't care. Like,
absolutely,
business is business, so absolutely. I'm going to go.
JP Morgan's not going to attend to everyone.
They're just not. Yeah. They're just not. And so, going to where the people are and meeting them and talking with them and hearing their needs. You mentioned trust, like building that trust, and that's helped. That's helped. But you got to work for it. You just can't expect people to just call you up. I think I have a great service. I know he does as well, but we're not owed anything. We have to go out and tell people why we feel that we're of value to those that are doing business with us.
Sure, Marvin.
So it was one of our clients came as a referral from my partner. He's on the West Coast. We both come from the law sector, so it was pretty much just a referral. Another client came from word of mouth from our first client. So it's pretty much just having that network of people. Like, lawyers talk, and if somebody's providing good service, they'll say, hey, this is our guy.
So you both kind of leverage your existing corporate relationships that you built up over the years, and
yes.
then went plow straight ahead with that.
Yep.
That's good, because you build up the because no one exists out of nowhere in a vacuum. So
exactly.
You have relationships with people that you never know what they're looking to do. Right?
Exactly.
So what do you think? What strategies work best when it comes for you guys as a smaller MSPs or consultants for MSPs? What strategy do you think works best when it comes to customer acquisition? Are you doing ads? Or are you doing videos? You're doing talks? What do you think works for you guys?
Yeah, just organic marketing, like you said, doing talks, going to meetings, trade shows, things of that nature, and just meeting people. Honestly, this is terrible. I don't have a website at this point. I just haven't had the need to do one, And my first year, I'm like, I don't want to sink money into a website. This doesn't turn out, and then there's more sunk costs that I'm going to be upset about in the long run. But yeah, it's a lot of it is. And I don't advise that for anybody. That's just what I did. Don't take my advice, because if you don't get a website and then your business goes up, then I'm gonna get blamed. You're gonna sue. Yeah, they'll sue me. Whatever. That's fine. But really, what it comes out to is face to face with people. That's how we met, Adrian.
Yeah. And at the Rochester Diversity Summit.
At the Supplier Summit, and it's just, having the confidence and stuff to go, I didn't know you, but someone said, hey, that guy does cybersecurity. I'm like, oh, cool. I got to get to meet him, shake hands and do whatever. And that's really a key thing is
You have to show face.
you got to tell your story. You got to tell that story.
Yeah, I've heard that from the read. You have to also starting up doing other different focus on automation, but it was repeatedly said to me, you must show your face.
Yeah.
You can't do this stuff by email and by phone calls and spamming people in marketing. You have to go to these events and show your face. For you, Marvin, what's working for you?
Definitely, it's showing up to the events. We were talking about, I think a while back, I was saying that I want to start getting from behind my desk, now that we're MBE certified, everybody's saying show up to these events. They need to see a face behind the company name, and it's just shaking the hands and talking to people, pretty much.
I think part of the things that people forget is at the end of the day, you're talking to another human being, and the other human being who's going to make a purchasing decision has to have faith in you and at least know you exist as another bot.
Yeah.
You exist as an individual that they can talk to, have some sort of relationship with. Because at the end of the day, it's still about relationships.
Yes.
You still have to communicate and speak to people and get out of your. All right. So, question for you guys. You mentioned MBBE, Minority Business Certified. So, out of curiosity, have you faced any challenges as a Black-owned business, going out there and interacting with people, and how has that either helped, hindered, or altered the playing field for you in terms of your path that you take?
It's a good question. When you are a minority or woman or whatever in this space, everybody has their own path that they have to follow. And I think one of the things that's troubled me, especially in tech, is that people want to put you in a box. Like, you have to chase this cause, or you have to talk like this, or you have to dress like this, or you can't forget where you came from, whatever. Like, you got to walk your own path of how you go about it. And I have a really, on my dad's side, my great grandmother and great grandfather opened up a sandwich shop in Jacksonville, Florida. Completely, race issues, the whole nine, and they set up this shop at a lumber mill where mostly white people work, and they hustled and they did their work, and within 5 years, like, that's where they all went, because they just provided a great service and they did the best way that they could do it. And so I kind of take that mantra and say, you know what, I'm gonna focus. Do I have responsibilities, based on risk? Sure. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not shooing that away, but I'm going to outshine with excellence. I'm just going to be awesome at what I do. I'm going to do the best job that I possibly can. And if someone can't see that and they only see skin tone, then I don't want to do business with them anyway. Like,
do business with you anyway.
Yeah. It's bilateral. It bilaterally doesn't work. So I'm not going to cry about it or chase it. It's like, that's not good business. Like, I'm chasing good business. And if I screw up, which I do a lot of the times, I want to be called out. Hey, you screwed up because you screwed up, and that's the reason why. So yeah, it's interesting. And I prefaced, what I said was that everybody has their own experience. Everybody has their own journey that they have to go through, path that they have to go through. So just because I'm doing it, you don't have to do it that way. But you have to lock into what you're comfortable in and know what you have to sacrifice and know, and be comfortable with that.
Also, your path of your journey where you are, as you say, is unique to you. The totality of all your life experiences, everything, and where you are physically currently in the world as well. So, Marvin, for you,
I'm gonna be the bad guy and basically say, no one cares if you're a Black-owned business. To be honest, you should be looking at how can I sell to the world. Regardless of whatever you do, clothes, whatever. When you adopt that framework, you put yourself in a box. There's a controversy going around the internet right now where a famous podcaster. He basically says, like, nobody cares if you run a black-owned business. You have to get out that mindset and think about, is my service good enough to sell to the world? Is my service good enough to sell to lawyers, architects, whoever? You have to get out of that framework. Like I said, we're hustlers. We got to go where the money's at. So the money doesn't care if you're black or white. It just wants good service.
Do you think it's easier if, again, all MSPs offer a certain level of line of business lines, basic sort of things that they offer, services. If you're able to do a specialization, for example, you gave the example of your relatives in the past, they focus on a niche that was absolutely needed. Do you find it's easier, per se, if you focus in on a niche that other people are ignoring because it's just too costly for them to chase? Does that help, or would that help anyway, regardless?
Yeah, and they don't, and honestly, they don't chase it because they're lazy. Now it's my turn to be the bad guy. You know, and especially in our area of line of work, ease and comfort is sold at a lot of these trade shows. Like, oh, if you sign up with us, and people are just going to come to you and they're just going to flock to you, and they're going to spend, you know, you're going to have $300,000 MRC your first year. Doesn't exist. Like, it's you have to think outside the box in the niche realm. Like, I tell people my business model, and I'll get people like, huh? Like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's different. And it's supposed to be different. And because I don't want to look like everybody else. You know, that's the whole thing of where, and to your point of like, they don't care because there are 300,000 MSPs out there that have the same tool set and whatever. Why would you, you know, the Wayne Gretzky quote, you know, skate where the puck isn't, and go where it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable to do what we do in innovation, in progressive thinking. Like, it's not easy. It's hard. But to me, choose your hard. Like, it's hard to do this. It's also hard to choose. It's also hard to compete against hundreds of thousands of MSPs. I'm choosing this route because there's more value that I can provide and the more victories that I can get inside of it.
Marvin?
I tell my team, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm going to push you guys. I tell my team, like, I'm going to push you to do bigger things, better things that you're not used to doing. Just get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's who we are as a company, and that's the lane we're in.
I mean, to me, all lends itself to what I call anti-fragility. Particularly now, we see a lot of companies who are very reliant on federal government funding. Mm-hmm. And that's been slashed all over the place. Mm-hmm. So your focus on offering superior product, focusing on the needs of the customer, as you say, meet the customer where they are. Yeah. That makes you far more anti-fragile than the other companies I've spoken to who are now kind of scrambling because they've lived off federal government grants for a long time. Yeah. You went to the Diversity Summit, and I'm wondering now, what percentage of that money that they were planning on to give the state support, even though it's a state-run program, what percentage of that money was coming from the federal government? You don't think about that. Yeah. Right. And, So.
And I think again, going back to where I think people are being lazy is that, federal money's being slashed, layoffs are happening. Last week I had 3 security executives laid off from their job. Like, it's all getting high level people. So it's all over the map. Like, it's small business, it's executives and things like that. But I feel, in knowing Marvin, I think you'll agree with this. That's when we get creative. Yeah. And that's when we provide solutions that other people have, that other people don't have. So you see these other organizations, oh, we need to cut prices, oh, we need to do that. It's like, no, it's like play in the sandbox you've been given, play in that field that you've been given. You're not playing the same team that you were playing 2 years ago when money was just flying out the doors. Right. Now money is not flying out the doors. Now it's about survival.
Exactly.
And then it's about finding solutions that people can use that are affordable, and that agileness and that speed of being able to do that. That's what helps us survive, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.